I remember when I covered this story, I was being very careful about the words that I used. I didn't want to show the mother's face or even say her name. I was hoping that she had nothing to do with this, but it still was a weird feeling that I had. Sometimes the names of people, the races of people, the places of people change, but the scenario will always be the same. When her live-in, on-again, off-again boyfriend of 7 years, Stephen Stern, said the last time that he had seen Maddie, is when he dropped her off at the middle school on February 26th. Now Maddie was missing. I remember reading about Maddie telling her friends that she, quote, wanted to live in the woods, end quote. That was supposed to be something that she had sent to people on a cell phone that she had. We know now that that was all BS and that Stern was trying to cover his tracks. Maddie Soho, she had celebrated her 13th birthday, and that was actually the last photo of her alive before she went missing. A birthday party, by the way, that her mother did not attend. I'm guessing that she was working. I haven't found the reasons why she hadn't attended her daughter's 13th birthday. As they arrived to the police station to report her missing, by this time 12 hours had passed, and Maddie's mother and the mother's boyfriend, by this time they hadn't even searched on their own for her. Though the boyfriend said that, again, he did drop her off at school, but she never went inside. She never attended. It was Jennifer Soto who got, I think, a text or an email stating that Maddie hadn't came to school that day. Now later there was CCTV footage of the boyfriend throwing Maddie's book bag, her school-issued laptop, and other belongings of Maddie in the apartment complex dumpster. When Maddie's body was found weeks later, she was miles away from home on the side of the road. An interview was conducted and Jennifer Soto would speak to authorities. She said that she knew that her 37-year-old boyfriend, Stephen Stern, was grooming and abusing her daughter. She would find the abuse had started when Stern dated Jennifer 8 years prior. Jennifer called Stern a master liar during the interview. Stern was in jail on unrelated charges at the time of this interview with Jennifer. Authorities were now going through Stern's cell phone, and Stern had a file on Google listed as Madeline. There were 1,700 images in that file and videos of Madeline. He had pictures of his boxers draped in Maddie's hamper. He had images of Maddie's bed with her stuffed animals on it, videos of him S.ing Maddie for the entire time that he was there, as far back as, again, when Maddie was 8 years old. Jennifer would tell the police things that the average mother with sense just would never say and would never stand for. Maddie would be directed by her mother to go into another room with this grown man. Jennifer said she did this when she needed, quote, good sleep, end quote. That was her words, good sleep. She would send her child with her boyfriend in another room when she needed good sleep. Stern abused her and filmed the abuse over and over again. Maddie's room, which wasn't a room, it was more like a set. It was an area behind a white partition in the living room. But remember, she rented out 2 other rooms to other people. But her daughter had an area of the house that she slept in. And speaking of set, I did watch Court TV, where they spoke about a lot of money that was running through Stephen Stern's hands. Stearns did not work. He did not own anything In his 30s, his parents were still fitting the bill for things that he needed. The question is, was he selling these videos? Because we do know that there's a high demand for this sick kind of shit. Was he profiting off the SA of Maddie? It would not be surprising with 1,700 images and videos. It wouldn't be surprising. Officers showed Jennifer Soto pictures of her daughter's lifeless body slumped over in Stern's car the same day he claimed to have dropped Maddie off. We would find out that Stern, he again started to SA Maddie when she was 8 years old. However, Jennifer admitted prioritizing her boyfriend over her daughter's safety over and over again. She even said the, quote, sex stuff was not evil, but the murder was evil, end quote. The sex stuff. She knew that Maddie was being abused and she turned the other cheek. Yes, she's one of those women, as long as a man is in the home, a man that doesn't even work, just in the home with your daughter all day long, that's all that she can ask for. I mean, her baby was 8 years old, doing all sorts of things with this man that Jennifer was probably doing with this man as well, but probably not as much as Maddie was. But the sex stuff wasn't evil. In this apartment, in the other rooms that Jennifer Soto rented out, I believe that they may be female roommates. I know at least one of them is a female roommate who spoke Spanish because an interpreter was needed. The roommate said that all she saw was a father-daughter relationship. Jennifer told anyone who would listen that was Maddie's stepfather, though it was not. There was videos of what is to believe of a young 8-year-old Maddie and Stern. They're watching cartoons and Stern is telling her that she can play with his cell phone if he can put his in her mouth for 3 seconds, and that he was going to count down while she did this. She even had admitted to letting Stern and Maddie share the bed upstairs again when she needed to get good sleep. And she even seen them snuggling together and Stern is in his underwear, and that this was not weird to her at all. This is what she allowed. All sorts of very bad things was happening to this little girl. She also said sometimes all three of them would sleep in the king-size bed together. It just depended on what was going on with our schedules. So this was just completely normal to Jennifer Soto. She even said when she'd broken up with Stearns, or he broke up with her, I don't know how that worked, but when they were no longer together, he still continued to come to the house because she trusted him, and he was still able to get in the bed with Maddie in his underwear and snuggle. They're not even together anymore, but he's still bringing his ass over there to snuggle, and she is still allowing this. I am almost certain that there was some time in Maddie's very young life that she told her mother what was going on, but her mother didn't care because the sex stuff did not bother her. Now, please excuse me. I'm about to go to Texas to get to Atlanta. If you guys been following me, you know that I do this. But it's another case that just stuck with me. It's not even really a case. It happened right here where I live. And unfortunately, I know the uncle of this young girl. Her mother had a boyfriend, a live-in boyfriend, who didn't do anything either. Just stayed at home. Stayed at home and that was it. I think she was on Section 8, and, probably getting food stamps and all that type of stuff. But she stayed home in the house with her boyfriend. But he would leave. He would leave and go and have relations with other women. And the mother didn't like that because he was just cheating on her and coming back whenever he got ready. So he told her, I'll stay in the house if I can and I'm clearing up the language, sleep with your 14-year-old daughter. So that was their agreement. That was their agreement, that she could keep her man in the house as long as he was able to violate her teen daughter. And it would happen. He would get up, go in the room, and do whatever he was going to do with this teen, and then come back and jump in the bed with her. And they were happy with this transaction over and over again. Now, the 14-year-old girl, when I met her, she was 15. And this was still going on. But the mother had put her out the house. He put her out the house because she got pregnant. And, they were going to make a big lie that the father was another little 14-year-old boy somewhere around here. But the mother had came in and they were sitting on the couch, and her boyfriend was rubbing her daughter's stomach. I mean, that's his baby, right? So he's rubbing her stomach and lifts up her shirt and acts like he's talking to the belly. And he's hoping that it's a son. He's always wanted a son. And then he kisses the 15-year-old's belly. And the mother was irate. When she saw that, irate, she put her out. And she went to go stay with her uncle, who later became an acquaintance of mine. That's how I knew about this. So that's what I mean. Women will sacrifice their children, little girls and little boys, to accommodate a nasty man inside their home. A detective had shown an image of Stern's private part in Maddie's mouth. They said that Jennifer became visibly upset, but she said, "I don't recognize anything in the room." What do you mean you don't recognize anything in the room? This is your daughter, bitch, but you don't recognize anything in the room? Deflecting. You don't recognize anything in the room, but your daughter has your man's private part in her mouth, but you're looking to see what you recognize in the room. I mean, she sounds absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. She knew what was happening. She just didn't know that there was pictures and videos all over Stern's phones depicting everything from years ago. Now, around this time, Stearns had another girlfriend. The unnamed woman broke it off with her because every night he said he had to go to Soto's home, that Jennifer and Maddie needed him. They could not sleep without him. If that isn't weird enough. So yeah, that unknown woman, she really dodged a bullet, and hopefully she does not have any young children. I mean, anybody that knew this man or was around his man, if you had any young children, little girls and little boys, you better ask them questions and make sure that Stearns wasn't violating them as well. Apparently, one of the roommates said that the night or the next day that Maddie had vanished, that she heard noises coming out of the rooms. And this was a room that Stearns and Maddie was sleeping in alone because, of course, Jennifer was in a separate room somewhere else in the house. And the noises continued until she fell asleep. The woman told detectives that Stern was acting strangely the next morning, that Maddie had disappeared. He did laundry, which he never did. He never did laundry. And he had power tools sitting on a table. And when she asked him about the power tools, he said it was for an unknown project. The roommates would later find out that they had also been secretly filmed. And he had placed the cameras under the doors and had images and videos of them in various stages of undress, naked. And he probably had sold those images as well. When they found out that they were on his phone, they now believed that he was capable of anything. In an interview with Stern, he spoke of Maddie. He said, quote, "She brings a lot of joy. She's a good girl. It doesn't feel the same when she's not there. I loved her like she was my own daughter. I would say I love you, and she would say I love you too." This is everything that he says. And he says that Maddie was happy. How could you be happy when 80% of your life you had to have some type of SA with this grown-ass, disgusting man that was parading around like he was your stepfather? I mean, that is just absolutely sickening. He said Maddie always needed a human contact before they went to sleep. I mean, really, really. So this is why he would snuggle with her. Now, he only wanted a lawyer when they requested to see his phone. Then he wanted to lawyer up. But the question is, why are authorities not charging Jennifer Soto? The fact that she gave her daughter to this man for many years, why are they giving her immunity? Because we don't need her account of anything. We have CCC footage and all the videos in his phone. If you ask me, she is just as sick and as guilty as he is. We just don't know why he killed her. We don't know why. I mean, did Maddie say that she was going to maybe tell a teacher? Maybe go to the police? Because why kill her? You have had your way with this child for years. Why kill her days after her 13th birthday? A man that I was watching on Court TV, I don't know if he was a psychologist. I think his name was Joseph Morgan or something like that. But he said that Maddie was now 13 and that perpetrators emotionally separate themselves from the victim or something fatal happens to the victim. And we know that something fatal had happened to Maddie. He believes that it may have came to an end for Stern, that there was no more utility for him. He had no more emotion with Maddie. She was now older. She, in her picture, she's probably starting to shape more like a woman, looking more like her mother, and that might have been a turnoff from him. She wasn't that little girl that was, just flat like a board. She was starting to get curves and look like a woman, and that's not what he wanted. That's not what he's interested in. So I believe he strangled her. He said that maybe the ages that he liked was maybe 8 to 12, and she was no longer, a young girl like the way he wanted her to be. So she was no more use for him. So I just find that, again, strange that you want to strangle her out when you did all this stuff. This little girl is being violated in the house that her mother and other people are in. And no one did a damn thing about it. And she's being recorded over and over again. No one did anything. No one said anything. I listened to a jailhouse call between Stern and his parents. He asked, stuff like, could they put something on his commissary? His father said, his exact words his father said is, "We're dead ass broke at this time." They also discussed selling Stern's car. The father said he needed to, sign a power of attorney so that they could do this. His father told him that he was looking at about 40 years. By the time that he got out of prison, that he'd be dead, his mother be dead, his brother would be dead, everybody would be dead. Stern said he would probably be dead too. They asked several questions that he couldn't speak about until the trial, because he also knew that, he was being recorded on the jailhouse phone. But something Stern's father said that stood out to me. He asked his son, "How did this come about? You didn't start it, but we know that you participated in it." I really wanted to hear what Stern said. I need to know Stern's side. I need to know, was Jennifer a part of this more than what we have heard? It wouldn't be shocking if this mother was more sexually involved in this. It just wouldn't be. That's why I don't understand the immunity. She needs to be charged with something. Stern's trial is set for September 2025. Jennifer Soto, she needs a trial too. Justice for Maddie Soto. This is horrible. What she went through was horrible. She needs justice.